We are traveling by train along the eastern shore of the South Island of New Zealand. This is a wonderful train journey. Comfortable train seating indoors, or you can stand outdoors, get beautiful views of green rolling hills with sheep and farmlands as you go by, and some of the most spectacular coastline that you'll ever see from any train anywhere in the world. This is quite a sight. Looks a little similar to California's Big Sur, another one of the world's greatest vistas. And this train makes it so much fun and convenient. You can stand in the open air car if you wish and get some really good photographs and enjoy the cool fresh air while you're still protected by the train itself. Enjoying this surf scenery gliding by, or sit indoors where it's a little warmer, perhaps a little more comfortable, passing the wine country. New Zealand is getting increasingly famous for its high quality grapes and wine production. We're heading north to Picton, which is the main city at the top of the South Island. Get off the train at Picton, and here we're going to transfer, walking just across the street over to the dock, passing the scenic watery harbor of Picton and getting on to the ferry boat. We're going to be crossing the Sound from the South Island to the North Island by ferry. For those who have cars, you can drive right on, or in our case, we walk on. You check your baggage and you claim it later at the end of the trip. It's a 3-hour cruise and it's very comfortable. You can walk the decks, plenty of room outside if you like to get that fresh air, and you'll enjoy a lot of scenery. You're not just crossing the open ocean. Most of the trip you're passing islands and the North Island, and then arriving, before you know it, the trip is over. And we are arriving now at the capital city of New Zealand, the city of Wellington. We're going to surprise you with this visit because most people are not very aware of Wellington, but it is a great city. Let's start with an orientation tour with a local guide on the bus.
My name is Sam, and it's only my pleasure to show you the sights of Wellington today, which will be around about 3 hours to 3.5 hours. There will be advantage points where you'll be able to go for a walk if you desire. If not, just stay on the coach. Wellington was born in 1840, which was the first European ships that entered Wellington Harbour. So we're going to now go head up onto the waterfront, and as we go along, enjoy the beautiful sights. Now Wellington has 466,000 people who reside here in the city. This is the most expensive real estate area in the Greater Wellington area. The average apartment would be $600,000 to $700,000.
We're about to see a lot of special sights on this bus tour. Look at that panorama of the city along the water's edge, spectacular. And then we came across a huge school of dolphin. Even the bus driver hadn't seen anything like this in a long time. That was a spectacular photo stop. And we pass a variety of kinds of houses. You begin to get a feeling for the city as you drive along on the bus tour and see that there's a nice variety of houses and apartments and commercial areas. And the most spectacular view of all is from Mount Victoria. Wow, so we spent about 20 minutes up here, burned through a lot of pictures. Nice place for a group shot with the city arching out there behind us. It's a little windy, especially up on the hill, but Wellington is famous for its winds. It's right here on the Cook Strait, and this is a windy place. They call Chicago the Windy City, but Wellington is even windier. However, it's not to be compared to Chicago otherwise. It's more like San Francisco. It's like a mini San Francisco. It's a city on the hills, a lot of Victorian style buildings here. There's some modern architecture, and it's a very hip place. Wellington is got movie making, there's cafes, there's a lot of arts, there's wonderful nature sites, there's a beautiful rose garden. So we get off the bus here and take a stroll along. Those flowers smell as good as they look. There's that breeze again. And from here we're going to get back on the bus and continue along on the city tour. Generally it's about a 3-hour bus tour, and that includes a number of stops. Here we even had some coffee and snacks at the Rose Garden. They do have a lovely cafe on the terrace. And then we continue walking on our own, going down Lambert Walk, one of the main streets of town, passing through the Civic Square, and we're about to enter into one of the great museums in the world for ethnic arts and culture. This is Te Papa Museum, a vast repository of Maori art. The art, the technology, the artifacts of the Aboriginal Maori people, the Polynesians, as well as a nice sample of modern art and technology. It's a history museum, it's an art museum. It's in a huge modernistic structure that's very easy to get around. You could spend 3 or even 4 hours if you really wanted to pour through these exhibits. And there's places you can sit, you can relax, you look at the artifacts of the 20th century. They'll have special exhibits as well. Here's the Italians in New Zealand. And there's a scientific approach. They've got a study center and a library. It's a research institution. You can kick back, have some cappuccino and a sweet, or even have lunch. In a few minutes walk from the museum, you're in the heart of downtown on Cuba Street, which has lots of great restaurants.
My name is Monty Patel. I'm the owner of the
Monty
business
Patel.
one. Yeah,
Fantastic.
Monty.
That's a lot of awards. That's great. That's great.
You'll find a lot of Indian restaurants. There's other ethnic restaurants, of course, and this was a winner. Not expensive and very tasty. Right along the Cuba Mall, which is a pedestrian mall. It's nice and quiet and peaceful here. It goes for about 8 blocks, right through the center of downtown. It's one of the more popular streets in the city. There's a number of these lively urban streets in the heart of Wellington, and Logan Brown Restaurant is perhaps #1 in the city, if not the country. This is a gourmet delight and not terribly expensive. Really, the dollar is pretty strong in New Zealand, and you can have a gourmet meal for much less than you'd expect. It's very safe to walk around in the evening here in Wellington. Walking back from Logan Brown back to our hotel, we're staying at the Ibis, which is right in the heart of downtown. Very convenient location, a nice modern hotel with good facilities, nice rooms, and an excellent breakfast room. Our group enjoying another breakfast together in the morning, starting out the day. There's so much to see in Wellington, you really should spend a couple of days here. Even though it's a place that's not that well known, you're going to find that it's a nice mix of culture, history, architecture. It's the governmental capital, a great place to visit.